next speaker will be our engineer, who I believe he will now tell us whether he's responsible for the magnanimous structures that we have all seen in Egypt. As you drive into the country of Egypt from the airport, something strikes you. I don't know whether it struck any of you, but it did to me. And I shared with a few of my colleagues. I told them that what I felt was the genetic thread of the people that developed the pyramids still running through our current generation of architects and engineers in Egypt. The structures that we are beholden are magnificent, they're large, and I think they've been built to last. So he will tell us a bit more about that. Mr. Engineer. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for this introduction, of course. Yes, I'm an engineer, but by the way, I am a planning engineer, so I can call myself I'm a regional and urban planner. But okay, I'll answer your question. Yes, I'm also working as an architect for many years of my career. Yes, you are right. We are now building a new republic, as announced many times. Of course, we are building the new capital city. Of course, all the governmental premises have been moved already to the new capital cities, and the monorail and the national network. And you are now you can recognize yourselves that more than 7,000 kilometers of roads, highways have been established already and conducted, and the new citizen Al Alamein and of course, we are all awaiting, all the universe, I think, are waiting for the official opening of the new gym, the new Egyptian Grand Museum. And of course, this will be a unique event. Not only that, the new Suez Canal, of course, that facilitate the international navigations from north to south. Many projects and many initiatives Egypt led it for at the recent time. And that proves that, yes, you are right. It's a genetic aptitude. Yeah, we built pyramids, we built, we started the history. And usually we say that Egypt born and then the history starts. So we are born before the history itself. So it's more than 7,000 years of civilization, and we are ready to continue on that civilization. We promise you on that. But thank you. Coming back again to our topics here as a planner in the tourism sector. So I'm using this, of course, proficiency as a strategic planner. I'll think as an engineer. We are in a real problem in Africa. Of course, we cannot formulate sort of cooperation between our member states. This is a really problem. So let us find the solution and practical solution. Enough conferences and seminars and meetings, we absorb it. Of course, let us come to what we need actually to conduct a concrete actions for this cooperation. The focal point of tourism for Egypt in the African Union. When Egypt was headed the African Union at 2019, we managed to formulate the concept of to establish the African Tourism Organization. And we already issued and accredited and authorized the brief of the formulation of this organization. It was very important. We managed also to recognize tourism as one of the main 5 sectors at the STC. STC is a technical committee for the African Union. We managed to recognize tourism as one of these main sectors. It wasn't before, by the way. And also we formulated a strategy for Africa as one tourism destination. This is a very important. We managed to do everything. But until now, nothing happened. Until now, we stopped just reports and, MOUs and validation of reports and discussions, ministerial meetings. But what we need, how to activate this achievement, how to activate and, to put it on ground. This is our main problem. So let us think in an engineering thinking in reverse engineering. What's happening today is one of these solutions, a local solution. Local solution is very important. Formulating public lobby is a very important. That NGO is a very important. That brainstorming actions very important. Let us report minutes of meeting for the government, central government, our member states, and to raise these issues to them. We want to conduct a concrete actions upon all what happened before, all what is a meeting for the African unions and for the African groups that we formulated. There is many groups, by the way, the Commissar group and the NIBAD are another groups and so. Also, I'm happy, but not completely happy to say that within the African trading procedures, of course, free trade for Africa, CEFTA, I think, yes, it's the name is CEFTA. We manage also to put a strategy and procedures how to facilitate the intra-trading between the African countries. Until now, yes, there is a reports, but no actions. Openly, I'm frankly saying, Africa have been pumped by many Western, many Asian goods. They can be dumped, and every day, these countries are dumped African with the goods, with the devices, with international, with cars, with many things. But if you think quietly, the only sectors that cannot be dumped, it cannot be exported or imported is the tourism resources. True. Of course, no one can transfer the wildlife in Kenya, Uganda, and other countries. No one can transfer the Nile River as a regional cooperation corridor. So the tourism assets will remain, and we will remain on these assets in Africa. That cannot be transported, cannot be moved to another areas. No countries can dump it our countries with the tourism resources. Tourism resources is something fixed, of course. So I think building upon this, building upon what we have already, we have to cooperate on some communities. There are many common factors between our member states. I'm giving you an example for the Nile River. We initiated before, 2 years before, we initiated to run a new tourism product along the Nile River Basin. Nile River Basin passed by 10 countries. Okay, starting from Egypt as a gate to Africa from the European tourism, for example. Passed by Sudan, South Sudan, Ethiopia, Uganda, Victoria Lake was the 5 countries, of course. This is a very unique tourism corridor to be started to cooperate within. This is a regional cooperation that we are targeting. We are all targeted for that. Okay, let us start step by step, cluster by cluster. The African Union is, adopting some overall strategies for our continent. But of course, we have to start from a minor level, which is at least we have to start winning agreements between, for example, Egypt and Uganda, Egypt and Sudan, Egypt and Syria. And then we enlarge and expand that cooperation as a regional cooperation. The 10 countries along the Nile River have to cooperate to run it. A Nile cruise, for example, starting from Egypt up to Uganda on the White branch or to Ethiopia for the blue branch of the River Nile. This is, by the way, already regional cooperation corridor. So we have to start following that. Not only that corridor, let us say on the cross-border countries. For Malawi, for example, there is a Malawi Lake, by the way. 3 countries are allocating in Malawi, so they can cooperate to establish a new beach tourism inside Africa, despite they are not on the bank of the Red Sea, for example. Another corridors are available, but we need to think on the procedures, how to adopt the cooperation procedures on that. The Silk Road itself. The Silk Road, by the way, passed along the coastal line of the Red Sea, and the Red Sea is east of Africa, and how many countries are located in the Red Sea. So marine transportation or transit tourism, we can cooperate in that field. This is the way on how can we cooperate. Let us, or never mind about that assets, never about on that tangible assets. Let us think about the intangible commodities also. First, there is a communities or common factor in a language. Most of our North African countries, by the way, starting from Morocco, the west of Africa, up to the east of Asia, let's say these Arabic countries, up to the African countries speaking on the African local languages. And I believe that more than 10 African countries can speak by the same local language, Swahili or whatever it is. common culture also, I can say it clearly. We have hot blood countries, hot blooded peoples. We can build on that. The relationships, the spiritual relationships between our countries is very strong, and we can build on that. Not only common culture, by the way. There are many commodities. We can start it to build upon it to establish a new regional cooperation. By this way, we will start to cooperate. We're not thinking like what the African Union are thinking, comprehensive strategy, the African agenda for the year 2063, as mentioned, the year 2063. This is something really I'm wondering, of course. We haven't started for 5-year action plan until now, and we are thinking on 2063. Do you believe that? So we have to start by 5-year action plans. We have to encourage the government to start by this quick win stage, or at least short stage of cooperation, not 2063. So I think this is the way. The last thing I want to talk about, I'm following the agenda of the sustainability. It's very important, by the way. I'm afraid again to say that the meaning or the term of sustainability now is an old-fashioned term. The new term now must be responsibility, including sustainability and many things, many other things. All what we suffered is that we don't know who is responsible. The international community is responsible about our resources, African resources, or our government is responsible to provide, the needed economic support for our local people, or the local people themselves are responsible as an owner for these assets in their countries. This is the reality. So responsible tourism touches everything, but sustainability is one branch. Also, we have to rethink again on what we are or what we want. Do we want the community-based tourism, as you wrote here, or tourism-based community? Do we need the tourism to support the local people for the poverty alleviation, or we need to use the local culture, the local features as a source for tourism, and where this money was going to the local people again, to the central government again? For that, NGOs is very important. NGO is a joint point between the local people and central government. So your role is very important to report this.
Yes.
I don't want to be long. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Engineer.